Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning. Happy Monday. Happy FOMC week to those who are celebrating, of course. It's going to be a wild week this week. It's going to be particularly wild. If you're with me here, either in the Discord or in the YouTube, go ahead and say what's up. Let's see who's with us this morning. We have Silent NW. We have Driss, Kata. Good morning, Luna. Discount, Cyrus. Good morning, Jim. Bucky Bills. Good morning, Shaw, Luna. Good morning, Zone Scalper, Larry. Good to see everyone. Let's see who else do we have here? Katie, Indian Feather, Alex, Manacanta, Go SPVC, Futures Trading Today, Rui, Jonathan, Jose, K. Stala, Forward, Nicholas, Marco, Life, what is that? Mattia, there we go. Christopher, Moose, Jello, Dylan, Tatiana, Sunrise Driver, Travis, Joey, Mr. Moon, Big G, Jim and Stuff, Ilita. Good morning, Dwayne, FX Entropy, Loxy, PT, JL, Vinny, Carl, Julio, Doomslayer, Juan, Skylar, Blaze. Good morning, Aladdin, Michael, Richard. Good morning, Skylar, GPY, Phantom, Renee, Alexander, JL, Stone, Lala, Gino, Kirk, Lonely Fox, ABB, Manny, Green, Filthy Rich. Good morning, Lootfisk, Savage. Good morning, O'Keefe's on the Run, Joey, Jonathan, Robinson, Skylar, Steve, There by Air, Kevin, DN, KDL, Aldo, John, Yael, Stacking Bananas. Good morning, Dojon, Camille, Grounds, Rolando, TBD. Good morning, everybody. How we all doing out there? Hopefully everybody had a very nice weekend. This week is going to be insane, by the way. This is going to be probably the, I would assume the craziest week of all of January, even though we've already had a really crazy January. We've had some beautiful opportunities in this market. But today is going to be the quietest day out of this week. The most quiet day of the week is today on Monday. So if you need time to warm up for this week, this day is yours to warm up and get ready. This is the day of the week where you want to get ready for the week. Good morning, Savage. Good morning, Saracusa, D-Trader, Sam. Good morning. Fruits of Deeds. Good morning. And yeah, so we do have a 3 and 6 month bill auction that's due out later today at 11:30. Prior to that, we do have the Dallas Fed manufacturing activity that's going to be out right at the market open, right at 9:30. A precarious time to release data, so it's probably not going to affect the markets all that much. We are going to have a lot of orders going off, of course, because it's Monday, and there's a lot of order flow that has to hit the tape on Monday. A lot of order matching that will go off on the open here. But we'll have to see if we have any large positional bets prior to that 3 and 6 month bill auction that's due out at 11:30 today. We have a lot of earnings this week. A lot of earnings. We have basically 50% of the weight of the S&P is reporting this week. I'll say that again. 50% of the weight of the entire S&P 500 is reporting in this week alone. If you wanted volatility, this is your week for it. We have SMCI that's reporting today after the bell. That's super micro. We have Microsoft, Amazon, Google. I'm sorry, Microsoft, AMD, not Amazon. AMD, Google, and Starbucks all reporting tomorrow after the bell. Microsoft, of course, is the number 2 weight of both the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. Google, it's up there. I think it's spot 6 and 7 because they have Class A shares, Class C shares. So Google reporting. Alphabet is their new name, of course. So Alphabet's reporting. I guess it's not really a new name anymore, but I'm just so used to calling them Google. I feel like they had that name change probably 4 years ago now. It's been a long time. Still new to me, you know. It's still new to me. I still call them. I just never call them Alphabet. I don't know about you folks out there. It's the same thing with Facebook. Whenever I see Meta, I always think FB in my brain. I never see Meta. I can see it on my screen, but I always see it as FB. Qualcomm is reporting on Wednesday. Big chip makers. All right, Qualcomm Wednesday. Thursday after the bell, we have Apple, Amazon, Meta, and then U.S. Steel X is reporting, not Twitter. Ticker X is not Twitter, by the way. It's U.S. Steel. But Apple, Amazon, and Meta. Apple is the number 1 weight of both the S&P and the NAS. Amazon and Meta also reporting. Meta is Facebook, of course. So a lot of interesting weight. On Friday, we do have both Chevron and ExxonMobil for you folks that are energies traders. Those are going to be reporting on Friday after the bell. So next week is also going to be very, very interesting. If you look at historically how the first half of February performs, historically speaking, the first half of February is usually an up half, and then the second half of February is traditionally down. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens this Wednesday. This Wednesday, of course, is the Super Bowl of trading. It's going to be Jerome Powell who's going to be speaking at 2:30 p.m. on Wednesday, and he's going to be discussing the FOMC rate decision. And if you've been paying attention lately, we've had a lot of those Fed heads really speaking out and saying extremely hawkish things. Now, if we go back to, December of 2022, I'm pretty sure, might have my dates mixed up, but I believe it was December of 2022, where we had most of the Fed heads that were hawkish, and then Jerome Powell came out and he was like, boom, here's a dove spike. And he just went super dovish, and then we had 2023 happen, which was just straight up. So it's going to be interesting to see do we see a repeat of that where all of the Fed heads have been hawkish, and then Jerome comes in, with his swagger, comes up to the podium. He's like, hey, all these people were hawkish. We're talking rate cuts. I see probably 7 to 10 rate cuts this year. Can you imagine? The SPX would go to 5,000 in a jiffy. However, if he says something, continuing that hawkish kind of verbiage that we've seen lately, if he does continue that sort of speak, I do think that we will have things kind of come back to earth a little bit. So a lot is really hinging on this. And we'll have to see that even there is also the other window of opportunity that he comes out and he's extremely hawkish and the market goes, yeah, we already knew that. We're still going up. So it could be really, really fun. It could be really interesting. But this is a week where if you don't have a lot of experience in trading, if you're 3 years or less in your trading journey, I would say probably take it easy this week, because this is a week that can mentally break you if you're not careful, because there's going to be a lot of volatility. And this is the type of market where you can be so certain that we're going to hold a direction, and then we have a reversal, and then it reverses again, and it reverses again, and then one more time, and your original thesis was right. So just be careful out there, especially if you're newer to trading. This is not the week where you want to be full porting into something, unless you're a total gambler, and that's fine. If that's your MO, gamble away. If you like gambling in the markets, and this is just like sports betting to you, hey, then go ham. Nobody's going to stop you. But this week is going to be insane, right? Yeah, like Loxy says, I'm 1 year in and I'm going to wing it with 15 contracts. Hey, you know what? If that's going to work out for you, so be it. Let's do that. Let's party. There's about 500 of you folks in here. Do me a favor, go ahead and smash that lucky like button. Hit that subscribe button as well if you're not subscribed to the stream. The data suggests that there's about 20% of you folks that tune in. That's 1 for every 5 of you folks that tunes in that is not currently subscribed to the stream. So make sure you slam that subscribe button. Make sure your notifications are turned on so that if we do have a surprise stream in the middle of the day one of these weeks, that you are notified when we're going live for that. I appreciate the support. We've been growing so rapidly. We hit over 7,500 subs over the weekend. Next goal is 10,000. When we hit 10,000 subs, I'm going to be giving away a free year of Clubhouse. That's going to be a lot of fun. So make sure you are subscribed for that there. Skylar, wow, with the donation. Thank you so much there, Skylar, coming in with a nice $1 to start our day here. Let's celebrate their first super on a live stream. Let's do it. Skylar, it's your first super ever. Congratulations, and I appreciate you doing that here. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that. Need to give away 10 of them. Well, maybe. We'll see. Maybe we'll give away 10 free months and then 1 full free year of Clubhouse. I want to trade like you and Dobley, all in the time 15 contracts. Not, yeah, exactly. Hey, Rips, I'm down 820 with my 50K Top Step account. I must be careful to not lose my account. Yeah, be very careful. You're very close. Well, it's a 2,000 total drawdown, so you have some room on it. Maybe trade the micros. Don't trade the minis, especially if you're trading the NQ. Rip, since I'm not so lucky, can I get anything as a bonus? I mean, everybody who says that they're not lucky usually comes in here and they just win stuff. That's been everybody who wins usually says, I've never won anything before. So if that gives you any confidence that you could win in here. Good morning, Kyle. Trader Page says, I'm not lucky and I won. I ain't winning anything. That's not the attitude to have. You want to be positive. Change the theme a bit here. How much back testing would you recommend to do on a specific method? As much as you can stomach, really. But do it, try to contain it maybe 3 to 6 months in the rears. Strategies change. There's a lot of traders out there who have turned into professional tweeters because their strategy doesn't work anymore. Maybe they were good back in COVID. But there's a couple Twitter traders out there who just tweet all day instead of trading, and they tell you how good at trading they used to be. Kind of like Uncle Rico talking about, I bet you I could throw that football over the mountains back there. These has-beens, these washed-up traders who can't trade anymore, so they just tweet all day about how good they really are, and then it's like, well, why don't you trade anymore? Oh, I don't need to anymore. But I love tweeting about it every 30 seconds. Oh, man. I think there's a couple that probably come to your folks' minds, but they just spend all day tweeting about how good of a trader they used to be. But then, strategies change. Strategies don't always work, right? Strategies change. And, this is why you want to backtest your strategies. You want to backtest probably going back 3 to 6 months, possibly a year. But backtesting those strategies, they do change often. Strategies will often, they'll change. And so if there's somebody who has a lot of trophies from when they used to trade back in 2017 or 2018 or 2019, and then they're not trading anymore and they spend all their time tweeting all day, every day, they can't trade anymore. So whatever they're telling you to date is garbage and nonsense and should be treated as such. Don't waste your time. Garbage in, garbage stays in. Everybody thinks garbage in, garbage out. No, garbage in, garbage stays in. So be placing attention where you're connecting your own stream to, right? Connect into people who are vibing with you and not telling you how good they used to be. Oh, goodness. So yeah, like I said, today we only have a 3 and 6 month bill auction that's due out today at 11:30, and the January Dallas Fed manufacturing activity is going to be out right at the market open there. But Tuesday, tomorrow, we do have the December JOLTS job openings that are going to be out. We have the HPI, the housing price index, that's going to be out tomorrow. The Redbook retail sales, 4 and 8 week bill announcement from the Treasury, Dallas Fed services activity, and the consumer confidence. That's all going to be out tomorrow. So we're going to have a lot more data to trade tomorrow. And, it'll be a lot of fun. It'll be a lot of fun there. Wednesday, of course, that is the Super Bowl of trading. FOMC rate decision, of course, is out at 2 p.m. on Wednesday. Jerome Powell is going to be speaking at 2:30. And if you've never traded that before, we're probably going to do an FOMC live stream for that. We did it last time. It was a lot of fun. So we'll probably do another live stream for the FOMC. So again, that's another reason that you want to make sure you're subscribed to the stream here. Do you know when we're going to receive the free drill? I think that January 31st is when we have stuff that's going out for whether or not we'll find out who won a free 100K combine from Top Step as well as the free reset. January 31st, I believe, is the date that is going out there. Luna says, I never got my free reset from doing bell to bell. Let me see. If somebody can post that code in the Discord there for Luna, it should work. You may have just had the email go into your spam there. But yeah, Wednesday is when we have those fire drill codes coming out by the end of day, January 31st. So yeah, lots of fun earnings are going to be this week. Lots of fun data. Lots of insane volatility events to trade this week. On Thursday, we have the PMI data that's coming out. We have jobless claims, of course, employment data. So we're going to see how that kind of plays on the heels of the FOMC. And then, of course, Thursday after the bell, Apple, Amazon, Meta, all reporting. So I think it's 5 out of the Magnificent 7 are reporting this week alone. And then I believe, when is NVIDIA reporting? Is it February? Is it late February that NVIDIA is reporting? I can't recall. NVIDIA always escapes me for some reason. But NVIDIA is going to be very, very interesting. We're going to see, Qualcomm on Wednesday after the bell on the heels. It's, right after FOMC. We're going to see how Qualcomm reacts. Qualcomm is a huge chip manufacturer. NVIDIA February 21st. Thank you for that there, Raymond. So NVIDIA reporting February 21st. We have room for that. But I think that we're going to have a lot of the AI stuff. Microsoft tomorrow. they're really punching up lately. They're now confidently auctioning above 400 for now. We have some levels that I gave out this morning on Microsoft. I am looking for a high on Microsoft today, all the way up at 410.64. And I do want to see if we have that run up into earnings. It's going to give us a really nice temperature on things. A lot of folks think that there's a chance that we could chop until FOMC. I am from the camp that due to the fact that we have Microsoft and Google reporting tomorrow after the bell, there is a potential for a run up into that. And that can cause contagion in the other tech sectors, not just AI, but cloud computing. There's a lot of different contagion in those names. So Microsoft and Google, big names to watch. We'll have to see if we have a lot of options trading positioning going into that today. Remember, if the dealers are selling folks these calls, we do have to see a lot of the underlying being purchased and if there's a lot of people buying puts. So we really want to keep an eye on the options chain today in Microsoft and Google to see whether or not that is playing out the way that I do expect. I do think that we will have a healthy run up into earnings there. Alec asks, is it account specific? As I understand, since I had the same code, it can be applied to one time only. Yeah, it's only one time. It only works one single time there. Thank you there, Alfred, for that. Ribs, last night I got in on a Lions going to the Super Bowl trade. I was in with 3 at 49.04. Took it off when the Lions blew it. Wish out to hell. I like that. Very, very nice. Yeah, so if you're missing your practice accounts today, there's a lot of chatter about this. If you're missing your practice account on Top Step, there's a help article that they posted. You have to generate a new practice account. I'll post this here in chat right there. So if you need help with getting your practice account back on Top Step, that's how you do it. So that's how you activate your practice account today if you're missing that there. So yeah, market is just kind of waffling around here. I want to see if we have anything at the bottom of the hour that's going to be coming in. But for the most part, I do expect that we will have a pretty docile morning up until the open. Once we start to see more algorithms turning their programs on and sort of making more of a market here, I think we will have more liquidity to trade. If we're looking at the chart right now, it's pretty basic stuff here. You can see I haven't traded yet. No net profit yet. But you can see here on the chart, we did have a little bit of gap, inefficiency, fair value gap, whatever you want to call it, single prints in the TPO. We did have this is on the 15-minute in the NQ, mind you. We did have this gap, and then it refilled that gap, and it kind of respected the upper end of that gap. And now we are kind of just holding this slight little trend here. And let's see if we can draw this trend. We've just been kind of holding that trend there. Kind of slowly holding that to the north side here. And we'll have to see. Big level overnight here has been at 23. 23 has been a very respected level. I have a big red line here. 23 in our clubhouse level of 480, auctioned all the way up to our clubhouse level of 590.25. That would have been a really nice trade. We had this initial dip on the Globex session because there's obviously a lot of war hawking going on. If you've been paying attention to the national news or any of the world news right now, there was an attack that was claimed by some folks in the Middle East over the weekend. And we had a lot of folks in the U.S. government who were calling for basically stroking the World War III drum or drumming on, pounding the World War III drum. So we did have a slight sell-off on that. I believe that oil spiked as well, just a touch. Let's go ahead and look at crude. Yeah, look at that. Our 77.65 level is still holding here in crude. So we had a gap up in crude, and then we've since meandered back down to the 77.65 level, which has been, again, a very, very strong level ever since we broke it on Friday's session. If you tuned in on Friday's Top Step, Power Hour, if you tuned in on Top Step TV, that was the level I called out, 77.65. So it's been respecting that level really, really well for all of my crude traders out there. So we want to see if that acts as a support now, because we have kind of doubled bottom on that. But I think that we're seeing a little bit of relaxation in the conversation that was, beating the drum of let's go to war, let's attack people kind of thing. So we'll have to see how that kind of unfurls for the rest of the day. But for the time being, that was negated pretty hard once we flushed below our 480 level here. You could see how bottoming that wick was. Very, very wicky there to the downside. And, 480 is kind of holding here. Michael says, I think 3 service members were killed. Yeah, absolutely tragic. And it definitely wasn't a small thing. Absolutely not. Whenever we lose life on our side, it's obviously a huge deal. So I did expect not this much of a reaction here to the upside, but this could simply be a draw of liquidity here. and we could potentially break back down. The level I do want to see for confirmation is two-part. We want to see 23 breaking down on the short side here, and we do want to see 480 breaking down. We do have a lot of liquidity that is down here at 433.5, a lot of business to conduct down there. So we could simply just see the market kind of roll today after breaking this area. That's a key area to watch, and then here would be a key area to watch. Now, because there's so much on the table this week, we could see large positioning bets, meaning that if we did come down into this area, we could find a lot of buyers. Same thing, if we did subsequently falter down back down into this level, we could be seeing a lot of buyers on the tape. So it's kind of the day where you want to let the market kind of tell you these things. We're watching to see whether or not this trend is going to hold, if we can get back above this gap here and then potentially auction above 90. Where I'm looking at for the overhead move is all the way up here at 632. There's a lot of overhead supply or Clubhouse level 630 3/4. If we do have that pushing up all the way to that overhead supply, we do have room to the top side here, 676.5. However, it's been, a little bit troublesome to get there. The last time we tried to push up above those 630s, we were rejected, and that was back on Thursday. So we will have to see if we can kind of stand pat above that 630 3/4 level. If we do, and we find a lot of strength, that overhead supply will then be a lot of, it's definitely support there in the future going into today's trade. So we'll have to see how this all kind of shakes out for the time being. What indicator are those red and blue lines on your chart? There is no indicator. These are levels that we have that are given out every single day in the morning memo that is published every single day before the market opens, usually around, I'd say 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. It goes out every single day in the Clubhouse here. And I share them obviously on the morning stream here, but you get the full gamut if you're getting the morning memo there. Those Houthis or whatever have pissed off everybody on the planet. They're the only country that have attempted to bomb Dubai. Their drones got shot out of the sky. I think you're talking about the Houthis. Practice account will go live today at some point. Thank you for that, Loxy. Ribs, do you pay attention to the options chain, gamma levels, etc.? Yeah, we traded options for about 9 months out of the year last year before the entire room wanted to switch over to futures. And we did really, really well with it. And paying attention to the options chain, which is a lot of what derives these levels, paying attention to where large positioning is taking place, because a lot of funds are using these not only to hedge positions, but take large bets. It's a big game of chess in the options chain, so it is definitely worthwhile to be paying attention to that. You have to be a member to get the morning memo. For the NQ and S&P levels, yes, but the morning memo does go out to all brokerages. It goes out to E-Trade. It goes out to Thinkorswim. It goes out to Webull. All of the brokerages out there, it goes out to them, but it comes out probably around 10:30 or 11 o'clock Eastern time. So there's a huge lag on when it actually goes out to those brokerages. But, if you have Thinkorswim Mobile, you'll see it there popping up. The morning memo is published there every single day. Do I still trade options? I haven't traded options in probably, 5 or 6 months now. I would have to go back and look back where my last options trade was. But yeah, I haven't traded options in a hot minute. But like I said, we traded options for basically 9 months out of the year last year. It was all options. But the problem was that dealers were not making it easy towards the, I want to say second half of the year is when it started to flip tremendously. There's a lot more people that were going in options, so dealers could get away with giving less of a bargain. There was a lot of times when you'd have mispriced options in the first half of the year where they weren't getting a lot of liquidity. You could see how it was kind of exchanging around, but it was a much better trade in the first half of 2023 versus the second half. So you'd have to be risking, let's say, $5,000 to make $2,000 to $5,000 versus in the second half of the year, it's like you're risking $10,000 to $20,000 to make $1,000 to $2,000. And you really had to play with size because there's very little movement in the chain. So yeah, it's just a different trade. There were some days where you'd have outliers and it was nice, but it was a lot of work to not make a lot of cash there. How big is the stream delay? On YouTube, it's somewhere between 1 and 10 seconds, depending on where you are in the world. On Discord, there's 0 delay. I mean, not 0, but it's as low latency as it gets. Sorry, you changed charts. I believe it was the lower time frame. I probably went to from CL. I was probably in crude. That's probably what I was looking at there. Same here with options for the last 3 years. Futures are much better. Yeah, I love the excitement of trading NQ on the daily. It gives you so many opportunities. If you can't find 10 handles in the NQ on the daily, I think you're looking in the wrong spot. I don't see the button to activate practice account on TopStep website. Just follow that help article and then just be patient. I don't know if it's available yet. I haven't checked myself, but today's the day when they're activating it. So just probably hold fast until at least tomorrow, and then maybe it'll open up for you. Are you talking about hourly high? You're talking about this. So I had this question, I want to say 18 times this weekend. I have to do something to just put on my chart here. This is hourly high and hourly low. I don't know why every single person wants to know exactly what this is. It's hourly high, hourly low. I'm gonna have this indicator released for everyone eventually. We're just working on, right now we're working on the momentum plugin for NinjaTrader. And that is going to be coming out probably sometime in February. It's there's a couple little snafus that the developers are running into right now, but I want to make sure that it's perfect, not perfect, but at least functioning well before I test it. But yeah, the indicator here is hourly high, hourly low, and it's a great way to just kind of get an eyeball of the market, just a little quick peek into what's going on here. It helps me kind of. I can see that if we are breaking these lows, there's a lot of support here, so we would be flushing down into a lot of stops. It's just an easy way to look at things. Put a label on it so people can stop at. I'm not kidding. There's 18 plus comments about it via DMs. Oh, and by the way, thanks for everybody for the questions. I'm sorry I couldn't get to all of the questions on Instagram. I had probably about 25 unanswered questions. I tried to get to most of the questions, but I appreciate all the questions that you folks asked on Instagram over the weekend. It was really, really nice answering all those. If you haven't followed me on Instagram already, it's going to pop up hold on, wait for it. There it is, @SellingRips right there on Twitter and Instagram. You can follow me there. I do post regularly on Instagram. It's more of kind of behind the scenes stuff. It's a lot of fun. I posted my setup there. I posted my computer setup that everybody was asking for on there. So if you ever wanted to see that, go there. It's probably still posted to my story there. Do you think you could trade EU and Asia futures at the same time as NQ? I mean, you could trade as many different, you could trade whatever you want. I mean, if you really want to, I like focusing on one thing at a time. I have in my career, I've obviously managed multiple positions at one single time, but the more positions you're juggling, the more difficulty it becomes. Hey Rips, I admire your calmness when trades are going against you. Can you elaborate a little on your secret to stay calm? So before I put on a trade, I'm already calculating exactly what risk I can have. And I say this with caution because I don't want people to use this to a disadvantage. So before I have a trade on, I'm calculating that I can lose X amount of dollars or what I'm willing to risk, right? When that trade goes on, I've already made peace with the fact that that's the true reality of things. Meaning that, let's just use whole numbers. I put on a trade, I lose $300. I'm not going into the trade manifesting a loss, right? Because I believe big in manifestation and how to carry a positive attitude in your trading. But I'm putting on that trade accepting the reality that I'm going to lose $300. I accept that reality before the trade even goes on so that when I do get stopped out, it is disappointing, of course. Nobody wants to lose, but I'm not emotional about it as much as I can be, right? And it's time and experience in the market of going through, monstrosities of losses in my career. I've had some terrible, terrible losses that have really just, bent me over a barrel and not been really fun to experience. And that's just with time and experience in the market that you go through that. Now, when you're putting on a trade, you don't want to manifest that you are going to lose $300, but you certainly want to come to terms with the idea that you're putting on risk. You're not putting on a guarantee. So when that trade does go on, you're not really surprised or shocked when you do lose, and you don't get too emotional about it. And then if you have back-to-back losses and back-to-back-to-back losses, you kind of just figure that you're not in the pocket that day and you just stop trading for the day because the market's going to be there tomorrow. You have to find a way to work with yourself because you can be your best ally, but also your best enemy, your worst enemy in trading, right? You want to be an ally to yourself that's always watching your back, but you also want to be stern with yourself. You don't want to let yourself off the hook when you're breaking rules, right? You want to be hard on yourself. You don't want to let the enemy of yourself come in and control your trading actions. When I was on tilt for a while, that's what I would do. I would just make friends with the enemy and I would be trading like an idiot, a knucklehead. And if you don't have control over yourself, that's what happens. You become a knucklehead. So it's kind of finding ways that you can work within yourself, within your own mind, to find ways that you can be a better trader. And one of those ways is coming to terms with the reality of trading. You're putting on risk. And so when you're putting on risk, you're not sitting there and saying, I'm putting on a trade, I'm going to win this no matter what. Because then you start to do things you shouldn't. For instance, if you start to think I'm going to win this trade no matter what, and the market should do what I think it should do, well, then you're adding into losers. You're dollar cost averaging when you shouldn't, when the market's not looking like you should be doing that. And you're desperate. Desperation is one of the worst enemies of trading. So it's a combination of all these things. And I don't think this is something you can learn in a book. You can't learn it overnight. The only place you can learn this is time and experience in the market. And that's why it takes so long to master trading. And I don't think anybody will ever truly master trading, but you get closer and closer to mastery. You get closer and closer to true proficiency in trading, but it just takes time. It takes time and going through the motions, going through losses, going through wins. It takes a long time. Hi, Rips. To become full-time trader with futures, trading alone works. I mean, I like trading with a group. I like trading with people. I like having trading buddies. I didn't do as well as I did. I found mentors, a few years into my trading experience in my trading career. And before those mentors, I was limiting my interaction with folks, especially other traders. And I think that it hurt me more than anything. And being able to have somebody that was kind of watching my back, a trading buddy, that was tremendously helpful for me. By the way, we're at the bottom of the hour here. We are breaking a little bit lower. Let's go back to Trading View here. We are breaking down a little bit lower. I do want to see if 37.5 offers any kind of support to us here. We are coming down towards the VWAP, which is at 541.5. But yeah, I think that having a trading buddy or somebody that's kind of keeping you honest, in trading alone, you're very good at lying to yourself, or at least conveniently forgetting about the things that matter, things that are related to discipline, that kind of stuff. That's what will knock you down a peg in trading. A lot of folks don't realize how often they're lying to themselves, especially if you're trading alone and you don't have good discipline in other areas of your life. It's very easy to start lying to yourself. No, I won that trade not because I was on tilt, but because I was being aggressive at the right time. No, you won that trade because you were on tilt and you shouldn't have been trading. And now you've rewired your brain to think that you should be trading under a state of tilt, for instance. I did that a lot. I would trade under duress, under tilt, and I would win trades. And then it took a long time to unwire that mechanism that would come in, that if I'd go on tilt, okay, let's ramp up the size and ramp up the activity. Let's go haywire. That's an example of, not being honest with yourself in trading. These are the things that can plague you as a trader and that can really hamper your forward path in trading, your acceleration in becoming a better trader. Do I meditate? Yes. Meditation is one of those things that a lot of folks, I don't think there's a lot of different ways to do it, right? Meditation is different to everyone. I try to focus as hard as I can on thinking of nothing. And I know this sounds weird, but trying to get to a place where your mind is completely calm and clear. It's very, very difficult at times. But I think that if you can achieve that, that's where you really kind of get super connected. We are coming down here. I'm looking for a trade if we do break down this 37.5, or if we kind of solidify some bids there. But the market is rolling there. Get into the nothing box, says Savage. Exactly. It's difficult to get there. It's very, very hard. What is the moving average there? That's the VWAP. Right there. That's just the VWAP. Hey, Rips, can you explain handles? It's another word for points. Just points. That alpha state. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. It's getting into that, I like what Savage said in here in the Discord, the nothing box. I don't think there's a lot of people that have achieved that. It's really difficult, especially with now, you have so many distractions in the world, but trying to find time when you can just quiet your mind as much as possible, even just getting close to that nothing box is really, really good. But it's important. We're inundated by so many distractions and noise these days. Everybody wakes up, they reach for their phone. I try not to look at my phone for as long as I can in the morning. Try to do a nice big stretch and quiet my mind. Obviously, checking the phone in the first 10 or 15 minutes or so, somewhere in that range, but try not to look at that stuff because you're starting your day with whatever your phone is dictating your mindset to be. Maybe there's a negative comment or a negative story or something negative. You don't want that to be your beginning to your day. You want to have your own thoughts. You want to be in control of your day. Nick Knack says, is anyone having trouble hearing on Discord? All you have to do is make sure that your audio source is selected correctly for the stream. That's all you have to do. There's a way to select the audio output. Very, 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 very hard to empty your brain and think of nothing. Complete isolation of your thoughts. Yeah. There's also, you could do isolation chambers if you have that in your area where you feel completely weightless and you're floating in an isolation tank. That's also helpful. kind of lose sense of, your senses kind of go away. Sight, touch, hearing. How much is monthly on the Clubhouse? Depends on which program you sign up for. But you can check it all out right here. I'll have Nightbot post the link there. Isolation tank is crazy. Yeah, it is. But it's all important. I think, there's plenty of traders that I know that get by without all this stuff. And there's a lot of folks that they don't believe in any of this stuff. But I mean, trading is a you versus you game. And if you look at any high functioning athlete or high functioning chess player or somebody like golfers, tennis players, people who are doing something where it's all focused on just them, the results are all based on them, you'll find a lot of similarities in their focus on mindset, training their mind, and how important that is. Trading's the same way. Everything exists up here in trading, right? The market's going on in an exterior fashion, but all interior is where everything's happening. This is where you're beating yourself up for a bad trade. This is where you're celebrating a great trade. It's all happening in here. And if you don't spend time to master that, trading is very difficult. The basics of trading are just pressing a button, right? You're just pressing a button. That's it. You're pressing a button. And then the result is either you win the trade or you lose the trade or you scratch the trade. Really two results, right? Win or lose. And the simplicity of placing a trade is just you're pressing a button and then looking at the result. Everything that goes on in between that is all generated by you yourself. And when you realize that, you realize how important self-mastery is, how important it is to focus on your mindset. And if you go into every single day hating what you're doing, hating to trade, I'm so stressed out, I'm nervous, I'm scared, you're going to start to attack yourself and you're going to get in the way of yourself. That's why I talk about this stuff so much, is because I used to do all of these things. And then when I stopped doing them and I focused on the things that fixed this is what helped me. And this is why I talk about this stuff all the time. And you can say, it's woo-woo stuff. It doesn't matter. It's just whatever. That's fine. Maybe that stuff works for you. But I found that this is what works for me. And this is what had probably the largest shift in my trading, was focusing internally instead of externally. A lot of folks are always looking for the setup or looking at, if I would have just bought it here in the market and this and that. It's all external. Take a moment to start looking internally, because this right here is what is causing most of your trading issues. I promise you. You can find any setup in the world and it could be the best back-tested setup in the world. But once that trade goes on, even if you're in the green, you're probably going to fumble it, right? If you haven't trained your mind effectively, you're probably going to fumble that trade. How many times? Put a W in chat if you put on a trade. I'll do it right now. I'm going to preemptively put a W in here. Put a W in chat if you put on a trade, it's gone green and then you took it off too early. I used to do that all the time. I still do it, right? Everybody does that. Did that have anything to do with your setup, with you externally identifying that setup? No. Had to do with this. And that's why it's so important to master this part of trading. Because if you don't, then you are going to find that great setup. You are going to put on that trade, and then you're not going to know what to do with it. That's why all of this is so important. Finding peace within yourself, finding that trader within yourself that you want to become is everything. And focusing on that every single day. Focusing on that through being mindful, expressing gratitude, journaling every single day, journaling every single trade that you take, describing your emotional state and why. All of this is vibrantly important to your success as a trader. I promise you this. The more you focus on your internal stuff, the external stuff falls into place. Because the trading aspect really is the easy part. The mindfulness, the psychology, controlling your own enemy, that's where the real struggle comes in for most people. Because think about it, how many times have you been on a losing streak and you bring that baggage into that day where you're saying, all right, I just need to make a win here because of X, right? Something in the past. Let me ask you this. Does this exist in reality? Does your losing streak exist in a tangible reality, or does it mostly exist in your brain, right? Obviously the numbers it's real loss. You've lost money, right? But the reality is that it's just in your brain. The market doesn't know that you're on a downswing. The market doesn't know that you've lost money. Maybe your wife, your significant other knows that you've lost money. But the reality of the fact is that it exists up here. It doesn't exist in a tangible reality. The market doesn't treat you differently because you're on a downswing. You treat the market differently because you're on a downswing. Think about that. The market isn't treating you differently. You're treating the market differently. It comes from within to go out to the external reality. Think about this the next time that you're feeling like you're struggling. The market has no idea, and it's not going to treat you any differently because you're struggling. You're treating yourself differently because you're struggling. You're creating that reality, and you're trading within that box. It knows where ICT stuff. Oh, come on. That's funny. So think about what reality you're bringing to the table when you're trading. And if you're not bringing a positive reality where you're expressing gratitude and you're saying, I am so grateful that I have the opportunity to trade right now. If you're not bringing that reality into the mix, you're probably bringing a negative reality, and that's going to affect how you are facing the market. Morning, Steve. My wife hates to see me trade. She hates trading. Well, that's not a good thing. That's never a good thing when your significant other does not. It's a common thing, of course. I had a lot of support from my wife through trading, and she was always my rock for everything. So I was very blessed in that. Try to find a way to be open and honest with your significant other, if that's helpful. I'm new here. Saw you on Top Step briefly. Could you explain your approach to trading strategy in a nutshell, please? Not really, but I guess I'll try. I'm a momentum trader at heart, and then we use market structure as a big part of our trading acumen, order flow, market structure, auction theory, and basically focusing mainly on the NQ here. It's really hard to nutshell my trading. That's why I'm able to just wax on and on and on about everything every single morning. I have no lack of content, but it's really difficult to put me in a box with my trading. I've been trading for a long time, and I've picked up a lot of different things from trading in a lot of different asset classes along the way, and that has formed me into the trader that I am. I could never be with someone who doesn't support me will hold you back. I agree with that, but it's finding a common ground where maybe your significant other doesn't understand it, right? Finding a way to get them to understand where you're coming from. Finding a way to have somebody else understanding your differing perspective. When my wife says, I think you should take a day off, I do, because she's always right. She told me to write this. Like that. Do you do cold water plunges? I haven't in a hot minute. I really haven't. But I was reading there's a science paper on that. There's a research paper on that said that it's actually not that great for you because it can actually increase your aging. It can make you age quicker because it's putting your body under so much duress too often, and it's raising your cortisol. So I don't know. I want to read more into that. But yeah, I haven't done a cold plunge in a hot minute. They're good to do, according to this research paper, they're good to do sparingly, once, twice a month, if that. But yeah, I haven't done a cold plunge in probably, at least 6 months to a year. Except NinjaTrader, what platform you guys use for Apex Funding's accounts? I'm not sure about that one. If anybody wants to help Charles in here. We are coming down. We are testing that 37.5 level here. Is anybody short here is anybody short in the chat here? Yeah. Yeah, Huberman would disagree. Nice. Apex short from 546. Manpreet short as well. Yeah, Andrew Huberman suggests 3 times a week for a total of 11 minutes for the week. Yeah, I recently read this research paper. I'm one of those nerds who loves to read research papers, right? And, it's one conducted study. And as you know, if you read a lot of research papers, a lot of those can be injected with a nice healthy dose of hullabaloo. Hi, Ribs. What time window during the day should traders avoid trading, due to low volume liquidity, hence manipulation? So I would focus 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. in the morning is going to be your prime opportunity trading index futures. 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. is what I would be focused on. Cold plunge does have its health benefits, but I wouldn't do it much, and I hate being cold. I have no problem with doing them. I've never had an issue with doing them. I just haven't. I don't have a cold plunge at my place here, so yeah, I haven't done one in a while. Start with quick wins. Nice work there, Savage. Way to go. Win, I would say 8 o'clock to 11 o'clock. That's that nice 3-hour window there. Ribs, hit me up in a private message. I'd love to send you my wife's mindfulness book. Oh, thank you for that, Maureen. Definitely. I'll reach out to you here on Discord. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. I like cold plunge as much as I like drawdown. No, it definitely activates that fight or flight within you. It activates a lot of, it's helpful. It makes sense why it's helpful, but there might be something where you're overdoing it and it's causing undue stress. If you're in a constant state of stress, there's that meme where you can see that there's a soldier who went to war. I think it's either World War I or World War II. And you can see how much stress they've experienced over that period. And they come back and they look like they've aged 20 years. So maybe causing yourself that much stress may not be good for your body. I'm not sure. It was just one research paper here. We are bouncing right off of 37.5 here. I want to see if we retest those lows. If we retest it and we do show some strength again, I could potentially find a long trade here. I like the idea of cold plunges, but it ages you horribly since you're adding stress to your body. Yeah, that's the research paper I was reading. Good for the immune system, but so is a load of things you can eat or herbals. Yeah. Hi, Rips. Where can I see the earnings release? Check out Earnings Whisperer. Let me see here. Let me bring it up. Here's a post here from Earnings Whispers. They're a great follow there on Twitter. Very, very good follow. Let me get this here. Post their Twitter post here. They're a great follow. Cold plunge is usually relaxing to me. Always sleep better. I don't know what that means. Hey, yeah, if it works for you, we're all different, right? Whatever works for you, works for you. Keep on doing it. Setting up my shot clock USD 300 up for now. Nice work there, Caesar. Yeah, I got a lot of DMs about the shot clock too this weekend, which is really, really cool. I'm thinking that we're going to have a section built into that momentum tool where you can actually activate the shot clock and it would lock you out of your trading so you cannot even make any executions on NinjaTrader. How cool would that be? So we'll have the built-in shot clock there. Morning, Ribs. Bah. Morning, Go Trades. How you doing there? We're all just a fun chemistry experiment. Yeah, the momentum tool that's going to be coming out is going to be awesome. I'm really excited for that. Good morning, 99. Good morning. But yeah, the shot clock would be so cool. You can just click to activate it, and then boom, it locks you out of NinjaTrader. You can't make a single execution. It will keep you nice and honest there. Yes, people do them too much. They're supposed to be done once every other week. Yeah, that's, again, same thing I was reading in that research paper. Hey, Rips, where did you get your levels from that hit perfectly? It's the Clubhouse levels. They're given out every single day in the Clubhouse in the morning memo. Every single day. And they work brilliantly. This is that 480 level. That's that 590 level. And then there's that 37.5 level. They work wonderfully. I love these Clubhouse levels. Yeah, I think that would help people a lot. I agree. I think the 5-minute shot clock built into an indicator would be so nice because it's so easy to access. You don't have to pull out your phone and you can just slam that button to activate it. You're starting to feel that tilt. Just click that button, or you're feeling nervous and maybe you wouldn't even usually put on the shot clock. Maybe you haven't even put on a trade. You're sitting there, but you're like, okay, I'm feeling out of pocket. I'm going to activate that shot clock. And you'd be able to change it from 3-minute, 5-minute, 10-minute, whatever you want. Saggy says, I'm in an open position, but I can't close it on Rhythmic. Does anyone have this problem? What platform are you using? Using TopStep? Hey, Rips, where did you see the study on the ice baths and aging? It was a research paper. I'll find it. I think it was in I'm trying to remember where it was posted. But I'm subscribed to a bunch of those mailing lists where they send out recent scientific papers. So, again, like I said, I'm a nerd. I like that kind of weird stuff. There's a lot of people don't ever look at that stuff, and I'm one of the people who does. Ribs, if you build a third-party risk management tool, that would work with Rhythmic. If I hit a daily loss limit, it would lock me out for the rest of the day. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of risk management kind of tools built into it. That's what we're looking at next, but we want to get the primary functions of it built in first there, where you could set your own daily loss limit. You could have it do all sorts of fun stuff. Yeah, you can also do that on Rhythmic. I mean, you can do anything you want, right? This is just going to be a tool that kind of consolidates everything to one simple to use interface and area. Slow morning for Rip. Seems like you had a relaxed weekend. Did I actually caught up on some sleep. But I need it sometimes. I'm one of those folks who can go. But if I don't pepper it in with some 20-minute naps during the week, it hits me like a Mack truck on Saturday and Sunday. So I spent some time with my wife on Saturday. It's really, really nice. I've been so busy lately with Clubhouse growing at the pace that it has been. But I spent some really nice quality time with the wife over the weekend. Always a good thing. Always a good thing if you don't have a lot of time during the week, finding time over the weekend. If you have time on the weekend, being able to do that was really, really nice. I'm a big believer in a good nap. Yeah, exactly. First day in the Discord. What time frame is your live chart? I've been having that issue with Rhythmic all week last week. This one is a 15-minute right here. And you can see that right there, 15-minute. ¿Cuál es el Discord amigo? It is a key. There you go. Let me put it right here. Here's the link for you, Gaston. Estás aquí. Can you make a decent living from trading only? Sure, absolutely. But I do recommend that if you are trading, you should have another source of income, because relying on it alone, there's folks that I know that are only relying on trading and they haven't proven consistent profitability. I think that's probably the hardest thing that you could possibly do. I've never done that. I've always had a secondary source of income with trading. I've never, ever had trading be my sole only source of income. I've had other companies, so I've never had trading be my only source of income ever. And I think the stress that you get from that would be insane. Absolutely insane. Because you're putting so much stress on yourself. Trading is hard enough. Anything you can do to remove stress from it versus putting stress on it is always going to be better. Rips casually reads and speaks, man. I can't confirm. Oh, goodness. Do you think this chart is going to be the 61-62 range? I'm new and trying to confirm my thoughts. 61 and 62 range? I think, are you talking about this range up here? Potentially. I mean, we have to see algorithms turning on. This is still very low volume right now. We're not seeing, I'm looking past hour here. We haven't seen any new machines coming on the tape here. That's why I'm living in Vietnam. Yeah, there you go. Ribs, if NQ drops below 450 levels, it looks like it bottoms out around 17,200. Would you think it would take big news catalysts to cause that? Not potentially. It depends. If we have a lot of people that are going into puts for the big names this week, if somebody has sort of some kind of early read on the FOMC, there might be a lot of stop and wait too. People may just, large institutions may be putting fake bets out in order to kind of sway things out, put feelers out. It's a big 4D chess game. You have to remember that there's going to be a lot of large institutional money that is trying to influence either side and trying to push things and seeing, okay, do we have a lot of people we can catch off sides over here? Do we have a lot of people that are looking to go long? If we push the market down here, are we having a lot of people firm up and bid here? So below 7, what was the level that you said? Below 450. I have a level at 433 here. And, if we're looking back, we have to go back here. 433 is it's been a strong level. We haven't entertained liquidity back in that area recently. So a push down to that level could be interesting. If we're looking at the broader picture right now, we are potentially in a downswing, right? But this bottoming out is what is concerning, to have a potential reversal here in the market like we had. Obviously this is a huge upswing, and then having this right here. So we could be seeing the same thing here, especially with how long this wick was. Bottoming out at 480. Middle East news did not push it down any lower. So there's a lot of people that were bidding the crap out of this, right? A low volume, but still bidding the crap out of it. So we'll have to see. I don't necessarily like making that, people who come out and say, well, this is my prediction for the week. I think that is just ridiculous. Oh, here, if it's long above here, then we're going to here. If it's short below this and it's below, like, do you have a crystal ball? Like, come on. It's ridiculous. Making long sweeping assumptions of what the market is going to do when the market is a living, breathing organism. It is based on the market participants that are moving it around. If there's news that drops, let's just say that the U.S. started attacking Iran. God hope that doesn't happen. But let's just say, I'm thinking of worst case scenario, World War III style. The market's probably not going to do well under that type of news, and no amount of you saying, oh, well, if it drops below this level and it does this and that, then it's going to do this. You have to wait for the order flow to come into the tape. Markets are nothing without the order flow, and reading it at these actionable levels is everything. You can't predict where the market's going to go 2 weeks from now. It's ridiculous. Unless you're saying, markets generally trend up. I would assume that the market is going to be higher 5 years from now. That's a good assumption, because markets trend up. Hey, but if there's some crazy news that there's a huge financial crisis, then yeah, maybe it's lower from now. But again, so you're factoring in news. You have to pay attention to the order flow in front of you. You have to pay attention to the macro environment. Macro environment this week says there's a lot of potential volatility events, right? Yeah, when you're looking for levels, just, turn on the, right here, we talked about this in a webinar in the Clubhouse, but turn on the volume profile, and you'll see that the levels kind of coincide with where this is. Look at where this bell curve is, and look at where the levels end up being. 590 and a quarter, 530, 590 and a quarter, 630 and 3/4. Look at that. It's the opposite ends of that bell curve. That's not by accident there. Those are the upper and lower ends of that volume, right? This is not by accident. There's fewer transactions here. There's fewer transactions here. Why? Because this is where volume wants to take place. This is where the transactions want to take place. That 34 level is a pivot point on my chart. Market's always looking forward. Yeah, that 34 level. I have 33 and a half, 34, whatever. We're all in the same boat, right? Unless we're talking about 37 up here. But yeah, that 33 and a half level, it's very, very strong. It was a big backboard for all of this liquidity, right? But yeah, turn on the volume profile and you can see this stuff. Visible range volume profile is what it's good to use. You can use the session volume profile. I'll show you all this stuff. So we are coming close to the top of the hour here. If you haven't already, make sure you're slamming that lucky like button. Make sure you are subscribed with notifications turned on. Ribs, are you in the Robbins Cup? I'm not. I'm in the Top Step Cup. And I posted my stats for my Top Step Live Funded account for the last 8 days of trading. And we're on a hot streak there. I haven't traded it yet. Today, the market sets up for something, I may not even trade it for this whole week, to be honest with you. I may not even trade it for this whole week unless there's a beautiful, beautiful setup. The problem is that there's no way for me to go from trading my AXA phase and combines into trading that rapidly. It takes about 20 seconds to switch from the Top Step server over into the Rhythmic server. So that is a little bit troublesome. I'm having a lot of difficulty trading that account in the sense that I don't have a lot of time. I'm mentoring people all the time here in Clubhouse. I'm doing one-on-ones often. I'm trying to do these streams as often as I can. I'm doing Top Step TV. So my window of trading is very limited, and I'm actually very proud of myself how well I've done in those last 8 days with the limited trading opportunities that I've been presented with. But if I had nothing but trading to do full time and I was just only focused on trading that account, I would assume that I would probably be up a lot more. I would be up way more. And I think I'm doing pretty well for the 8 days that I've traded it there. Yeah, with Quant Tower, you can flip over super quick. Yeah, I'm a ninja trader there. That's what I'm doing. But yeah, I find I get a lot of gratitude from mentoring people. I've been mentoring people for some time now. I get a lot of gratitude from that. And that is the reward for that is much better than any kind of monetary reward that I get from trading. And I mean, a lot of people could disagree with that statement, but that's how I feel personally. You know, when you die, you can't take money with you, right? You can't take it with you. Mentoring people, you get a lot of gratitude from seeing people's growth, seeing people succeed. It's you experience something different from that you can't get monetarily. It's a beautiful thing. Thank you, Ribs, for everything you're doing. I'm a better trader for mine. Hey, thanks, Mr. Moon. Appreciate you. Separate computer would work for the log-in issues with the perfect setups. Yeah, I could also run like a virtual machine as well. I have a streaming computer that, you know, splits the stream out so I don't have to put so much bandwidth on one computer. When am I on Top Step TV this week? Good question. I'm going to be on tomorrow for Fast Markets, Thursday for the hour prior to Power Hour, so back to the futures, and then Power Hour, and then Friday for Fast Markets there. Would you use your champagne? Oh, goodness. What are my volume profile settings? Let me get those for you here. This is a session range volume profile. Let me go ahead and open that up for you. There's the inputs right there. And then the style right there. And you can go back and pause the video. Is VM only option? No. I mean, there's other ways to figure it out. It's just not one of my top priorities right now. It's just something that I felt that it was worth mentioning. Currently traveling with my MacBook. Any tips on how I can log into my combines on Quant Tower? You want to run either Boot Camp or Parallels. You want to run a virtual machine, so an install of Windows on your Mac, and you can switch between your install of Mac OS and Windows. And I'm not sure if Quant Tower has a web version. I don't think they do, and I do not think they have a Mac version yet. Saeed says, good morning from Singapore. Good morning to you. Do you include the overnight session when you look at the volume profile for the day? Yeah, so I mean, session volume profile is what you could use. This is the visible range volume profile. So the more I scroll back, the more range it'll give me in my volume profile here. You can see if I zoom in, it'll change. Watch. Give it a minute. There you go. Now it changes just for what's visible here. Do you know when Top Step X is coming out? February, sometime in February here. Parallels runs Windows better than a PC. Yeah, I don't know about that. Maybe. Good morning from the UK. Good morning there, Shayak. Alrighty, so we are coming in for the injection of 9 a.m. liquidity. Let's see if this gives us any opportunities here. 5 seconds here. Okay. Alrighty. I guess we're going to wait until a quarter of the hour before the machines come on. So still no trades for me yet. You can see that right up there. Still no trades. Is anybody out there trading any XFAs or live accounts on TopStepX? Actually, I think Deanna, Market Stalker D, she's the first one that's ever trading on a TopStepX live account. So anybody out there trading TopStepX on an XFA right now? I'm curious if any of our viewers in here. Anyone know how to activate the new practice account? I'm on the website and click practice, but I don't know how to activate it. I would just try following those instructions. And again, today's the first day, so there may be some couple little snafus in there. Oh, nice. Look at that. A lot of folks in here. Strix says, you should do a video on your strategy. I have tons of videos in the webinar archive. Let me post the link so you can see that. This is all the webinars that we have currently. I'm working on, I have 3 in the pipeline right now, but there's the webinar archive. Those are all the webinars that we have in the Clubhouse. If you scroll down a load even more, what do we have here? We have 11 webinars in the archive right now. The practice instructions don't work currently. Okay, good to know. Thank you, Shah. Appreciate that. Yeah, so practice reset's not working. Okay, cool. Good to know, folks. It's not live yet. Yeah, today's that first day, so please have patience if you are trying to get that working there. Yeah, things are just kind of slowly shaking around here. 38s up to 50s. Trading combine here, lost my XFA. That's okay. It'll be back in no time. Anyone using TopStepX and TradingView VWAP on NQ is nowhere close on both, and I can't figure out why. Both are set to HLC3 and session. Interesting. If anybody can help, money grows green in here. What got you into trading? I talk about it on one of the podcasts that I've done. Also talked about it on TopStep TV, but had a buddy who came into my office and he showed me it. I mean, I've always been interested in trading, but he showed me, this is Thinkorswim. This is about 10 years ago. Showed me Thinkorswim, showed me an ETF pair, and I was hooked. And he was showing me everything, and it seemed so easy, and I made a really nice trade, and then subsequently gave everything back after that. Ribs, you may have answered this, but you place those blue lines levels manually. Yes. I mean, well, they're the market Clubhouse levels. So somebody has a tool in here that automatically imports them to your chart based on whatever the morning memo posts every single morning. So it's automated for some folks in here, but obviously they're being placed manually on my chart. Maybe a Clubhouse membership giveaway to get us going today. Hey, maybe. We only have 385 likes in here, folks. I mean, if we were up to like maybe 750 likes, I would consider it, but we only have 385 likes in here. You have an auctioneer voice. Yeah, I've heard that one. Some folks in Top Step TV were talking about that in the chat. Can you explain how to read those bubbles? Yeah, sure. Let's talk about this. So this is the delta right here. It's going to show you the ask and bid liquidity that's contracted at that certain area right here. This is kind of half and half. So when it got up to this area, had about half and half of liquidity being transacted there on both the bid and the offer. The size of the bubble is the volume of that transaction or those transactions, depending on how zoomed in you are. And this is just, your bid and your ask. This is the volume profile over here. These are the current orders sitting in the order book, the depth of market. It's a way to visualize the order flow and price of the market that we're trading. In this case, it is the NQ. So yeah, there you have it. Unfortunately for these combines, I got the Quantower option and have a Windows and a Mac at home, but usually only travel with the Mac and can't trade the combines now. Make sure, for Mac, if you're trading on a Mac, you want to use Tradovate because it works on both Mac and PC. I'm not a Tradovate user myself, but there are folks out there who are very happy with using it. By the way, quick check here on the S&Ps. You can see it is kind of holding the VWAP here. 49.19 is our level, and then we have a level all the way down here at 49.75. I would like to see this thing jamming up through 49.22. That's the level that we were watching on Friday. We tucked above that, and then we had that big sweep down there. And 49.22 would be the level to watch here. What plan do you have on Bookmap? I have the Global Plus, but it's not necessary. You can get by with just Global just fine. There's a discount you can get on it. I'll have Nightbot drop a link. There's 20% off. I think it's 20% recurring. So if you're interested in getting Bookmap, it's definitely a nice way to get it a little bit cheaper. I use Trade-Evade all the time. Would like to get Top Step X as I got access, but lost it when I blew the account. Oh, bummer. Best is link TradingView to Trade-Evade. I've heard there's a couple little issues there with lag, that it can lag a little bit. By the way, there's the chart that I had up that you couldn't see. Can't upgrade Trade-Evade if you're Canadian. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Please post Replicanto link. Here you go. There's the discount code and all that for Replicanto. Good morning, Rips. Are you going to tell us your scuba diving? We'll do that on another day. Rips, you should partner with Bookmap. I believe many people didn't know about it before they met you. Yeah, I am currently somewhat partnered with them. They asked me to go on their channel and do a webinar. I just don't have any time. I really don't. I'm spread pretty thin as is right now. I just haven't had much time whatsoever. Like it's been very busy lately. Very, very busy. Let's go back to the NQ here. We did bounce right there off the VWAP there. We're coming into the quarter of the hour liquidity. So we did bounce off our level 37.5 there, but we are kind of just waffling. We're not seeing any extreme extension through the 50s yet. Thanks for the love over the weekend on X. You, sir, are a breath of fresh air in the trading community on social media. Appreciate you and all you do, dude. Thank you, Cliff. Appreciate you. Trying to be as active as possible throughout all of those platforms there. Motive Wave is a good option for Mac users. I haven't used that one, but I believe it's pretty similar to Quantower, if I'm not mistaken. That's a good one, right? But yeah, scuba diving incident we'll get into another time. I want to be able to tell that full story here, but I think that we're going to start to see some liquidity coming in. I'm still not seeing it over on my end here, looking at the volume. Still not coming in. Today could be a pretty dry day, and that's okay. I don't mind if it's a dry day at all. NinjaTrader is the absolute best platform. I'm with you on that one. It's a shame that NinjaTrader doesn't have a Mac client. It's such an old school platform. I don't think it's ever going to have a Mac client. And I think that's why they bought Trade-Evade, so that they could have a Mac client in their arsenal. Whoever says Top Step X is good doesn't know what they're doing. It lags. The trading risk reward doesn't work properly. Yeah, it's a beta platform, right? If you've ever beta tested any software, it's very, very, very normal that it's not running all up to snuff just yet. What are the most important levels you draw every morning? The Clubhouse levels, no doubt about it. Would you recommend Quantower or Trade-Evade? I'm using Quantower and often have some issues. I mean, I'm all NinjaTrader all the way. If you ask me what's my favorite platform, it's always going to be NinjaTrader. I've been using it for a very long time, well before Top Step, and it's got so many community created add-ons. It's very snappy. If you ever used DAS Trader Pro when you were trading equities or options, you will find a nice home at NinjaTrader. I tried Top Step X with free account. I'll stick to Trade-Evade or Quant. There you go. When I used it, it did what I wanted. Yeah, it's split right now. There's a lot of folks who love Top Step X. What are your thoughts on the CVD? I think it's very important. Hey, welcome there, Tom E. Ray. And Goat Trades. Can we give a warm welcome here? Drop an emoji for Goat and Tom. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you in here. But yeah, we are breaking above these 50s for now. I do want to see if we can meander up towards 60. So we did kind of have a test there, if we could break down that 37.5 level, and we did not. Just zooming in a little bit here. We had a potential test. I'm going to drop it into the 3 minutes so we can get a little granular here. But you can see we kind of bounced right off that 37.50, retested the VWAP, and now we are skittering on up to the upside here at 60 and a quarter. Want to see if we can make it all the way up into that level. We do have some liquidity wrestled and nestled up to the top side there. Any thoughts on TradeStation? Don't think I've ever used them, not even once. So I wouldn't be the person to ask on that. Dash Trader was great. Used it for level 2, but started using Mac and it's Windows only. Yeah, I don't know of any good Mac equities trading platforms. Maybe Thinkorswim is probably the best there is, right? Hit the like button, subscribe, show love. Hey, thanks, Trader Joe. Good to see you this morning. Love TradeStation and their hotkey options are great. There you go. We have some couple people in here talking about TradeStation. Ribs, didn't know you were ripped in real life. How long have you been intermittent fasting? Over 7 years now. Yeah, I'm disciplined in all aspects of my life. It carries over into trading. I've always been a disciplined person. I find structure and discipline. I like being structured. Very, very militant in my structure. Thinkorswim best for Mac. I agree. TradeStation has too high margin requirements compared to Ninja. There you go. Have you received your Top Step hat yet? I haven't asked for it, so it's one of the things I want to ask for. I want to get probably a bigger one than the one that they have. I want to get I want to get that 100K. That's what I really want. Can anybody sign up for Top Step X now? I don't think so. I think it's still in beta only. What time does your fasting end? Yeah, it's 18:06. I break my fast sometimes around noon. So I'm 18:06. I have it pretty tight right now. It's basically noon to 3. So it's 19:05, I think, actually. But a lot of people think, oh man, aren't you hungry? No, you don't get hungry. You don't get hungry. You get hungry when it's time to eat. And then when your eating window's open, your body kind of adapts to it. Thought you meant bigger. Literally. It's really, no, 19.5 is not that crazy. It's really not. You just don't really get hungry. You get a lot more, I don't know, your body just, you get a lot more, I don't know. When I first started doing it 7 years ago, I want to look back when I started. I want to say 7 years. It's been a hot minute. But yeah, I started it and immediately brain fog in the morning was gone. You're just more on point. We are reversing here in the NQ. Still not seeing, no new machines are coming on that I'm seeing right now. How many calories do I eat? About 2,750 a day, somewhere in that range. 2,900, 2,750, somewhere in that range, depending on the day. I like to have a cheat meal here and there. Not during the week, usually on the weekends. First time with you here, found you on Top Step. Hey, welcome there, JT Irby. Good to see you. Yeah, more energy, more clear head. Yeah, exactly. 100%. And my keto, I did keto for a little bit. I did keto before keto was cool. I'm one of those people. I did it for a little bit, but then I stopped doing it. I was eating tons of steak, butter, and ice cream. I would make like thick ice cream. I would make my own ice cream with stevia. It was amazing. But I found just regular old intermittent fasting I like a lot more. I'm very, I don't know why we're talking about diet. How do we get on this subject or anything? But yeah, low carb, high protein, that stuff. You gotta love it though. If you don't like this stuff, you're probably not going to enjoy doing it. In anything in life, you want to find what you really enjoy doing and lean into it. And that's why a lot of people, they go on diets and they don't work because they don't enjoy what they're doing. Find something that you can find a way that you enjoy doing it. Intermittent fasting, I think, is the easiest way to do that. You can still, if you don't want to stop eating garbage, well, then eat garbage in a limited window. I guarantee you that you'll probably get, your body will be a lot better. You're still eating garbage. If you can't find a way to stop, just do intermittent fasting. Are you into anti-aging stuff? I mean, to a degree, I suppose. I don't really use any crazy products or anything like that, if that's what you're asking. Stevia is an acquired taste. There's a lot of folks that don't like stevia. It's very sweet. Very, very sweet. ICT is live paper trading right now. Why is he practicing? Maybe he'll do a nice another 0 for 5 stream. We'll see. Do you skip breakfast or skip dinner? I don't skip any meals. I just start eating breakfast at noon. I have lunch at 1:30, and then dinner at 3. That's it. Just bang, bang, bang. Nail them out like that. Microdosing, that's a good one. We can talk about that sometime. Fasting promotes healthy endocrine system and HGH release. Yes, it's very good for working out. A lot of folks think, aren't you going to be hungry when you're working out? No, you just get jacked and ripped. You get jacked and ripped. It's amazing. It's awesome. You can be in the best shape of your life, even later in life, and not even know that you could get there. Have the body that you've never even thought you could get. Just do it through intermittent fasting. It's a mystery how a person like ICT has such a huge following. He uses a lot of cult tricks, surprisingly. A lot of that stuff, the concepts that he's teaching, they're just repackaged. I know a lot of people, I'm not trying to attack anybody. If it's working for you, it's working for you. But it's all different ways to say the same thing, right? What if I started calling this is called the Rips Missing Print box. What if I called it that instead of single prints on a TPO or a fair value gap or inefficiency? Concepts work, but the nonsense is there. It's just to kind of build that cult-like mentality. It is what it is, though. I mean, I'm not trying to pee in anybody's Cheerios this morning. We're coming down to the bottom, the quarter of the hour, rather, here. But, if it's working for you, lean into it, right? Who cares? But, a lot of the stories are pretty they're up there. They're fun. They're fun stories. They're fun stories. All right, there's the quarter of the hour, and still looking to see if we have any signature of any new machines entering the market here. Looking, maybe one more got turned on here. Let's see. This is choppy stuff, though. This is very range-bound and choppy stuff. I'm happy that we have avoided this. Outside of that flushacito when we first came on, up above 60. There's room for everybody. Yeah, if it works for you, it works for you. Everything you need to know about trading is free. All these courses you see are just regurgitated. I agree with you. That's why I say, people are asking, I get DMs about, hey, if I join Clubhouse, are you going to help me pass my combine? I don't know. Oh, your webinars, are they something special? No, you can find all this information in books. You can find it on YouTube. It's just me teaching it. And these are the concepts that have worked for me, and I'm just teaching it to people. I don't make any promises you join Clubhouse that anything's going to change in your trading. I make not one single promise, but it's a great community. If you're enjoying the live streams, you get zero latency, low latency live streams, get access to the webinars, get access to me for one-on-ones where I try my best to help improve your trading. And that's it. If anybody out there is selling you a course that's saying, hey, you're going to become a millionaire overnight, probably want to avoid that. I don't think that's not a good look. You have a limit of trades per day, or is it session time based? It's usually, it's discretionary. It's something you build up over time. There's markets that are good to trade all day. There's markets that are good to trade for the first hour and walk away. There's markets that are good to miss the first morning session, trade after Euro close. There's some machines coming on now, by the way. Some liquidity stepping in. If they aren't live trading, then I wouldn't follow them. There you go. Also, if somebody is live trading, have them show you the executions as they're happening in real time. There's another new one that popped up in my feed because as I'm getting more popular, there's like an intermingling. But there's somebody out there who just draws on their charts while the price action's going, and then they show their trade summary at the end of the day. And they're like, look, I made all this and I made 100% win rate. And then they've done it all on they're using an account where they're using replay mode, and they're just trading on a replay mode. So if somebody's not executing, showing you each one of the executions on their chart as they're happening, stay away from those people. There shouldn't be any excuse as to why somebody can't show you live executions in the moment. Gold is setting up for a good sell. Let's see. Let's check out gold futures here. Yeah, I had a level 2027. I feel like I had new levels on gold. Is this really it? 20 spot 62. Really? Wow. And maybe this chart hasn't updated yet, but yeah, bounce off 27 spot 6. Coming back down here. Yeah, potentially. A big jack up there from gold. Good morning. Enjoying the stream. Only West Coast stream. Love it. Caught you on Top Step last week. Hey, good morning there, DK. Good morning. Good morning. You need to ask a question. If a guy sells a course to make you huge money, why sell it? Yeah, or people that are selling you an algorithm that's going to trade for you. That's the best one. Oh, I'll build you an algorithm for $10,000 and it'll trade for you. It's like, oh, if it's worth $10,000, why aren't you using it yourself? You know the reason. Trading is literally, you have to spend a lot of time doing this. That's the secret. The secret to trading, spend a lot of time and don't blow yourself out early. Don't blow your account out early and have time to stick here and sit and watch the charts, watch the price action so you're committing it to your implicit memory. Literally, there's the secret to trading. There's the magic trick to trading right there. You watch things happen enough time, your mind starts to pick up on these patterns. You learn how price action moves, and you trade around that price action with a discretionary tool set. Boom. Trading. There's the secret. There's a secret no guru wants to tell you. That's it. And then the psychology aspect, of course. Once you finally figure out where the trade should go, how do you keep the good trades on? How do you take the bad trades off? That's the psychology part. Again, years and years and years and years and years. If you think that you're going to be proficient in trading in 6 months, sorry. Am I going to be on Top Step TV today? No, I'm going to be on tomorrow, Tuesday, for Fast Markets. Most real traders live off the grid. They wouldn't risk trading live. Yeah, I mean, there's professional traders are never going to be trading live. Big time people who are bringing in millions of dollars a month or trading for large funds. Of course, they're not going to be trading live. How do you know the algos are on? You can see it on Bookmap. You can see the increase of volume. Also on NinjaTrader down here. Right here. Big spike of volume there. Rips, do you think China's second largest land developer, Evergrande, liquidation will affect the market today? I think, the stimulus was supposed to affect the markets, and then it just kind of didn't. It shook it off. So I think most of the U.S. markets are focused on FOMC this week as well as the earnings. It may start to come into play soon, but I expected a lot more interplay from the fact that China was amping up their stimulus, and we saw, some China names running, but it really didn't have contagion for the U.S. markets all that much. I thought it would have had more. We've had it in, I think it was 2022 or 2023. We had some decent contagion between some China headlines in the U.S. markets, but right now we're just not seeing that. Personally, I haven't seen it myself, so I would probably lean towards no. Hey, Ribs, how do you build discipline to follow your rules? I get on tilt too often. Journaling is a good start. Being honest with yourself in your journaling, writing down your emotional state, reading it before the next day that you go into a trade. That's also going to be helpful. All right, folks, we got 10 minutes until the market opens here. I'm going to take a quick restroom break. We haven't taken any trades yet, but let's see if we can probably try to find something here off the open. But I'm going to take a quick restroom break. Please don't go anywhere, and make sure you drop a like on the video. Make sure you are subscribed. I'll be back in a couple minutes here. And we're back here. Did we get a bathroom pump? My goodness. Good morning, D-Zignator. Good to see you. You think if we all buy at the same time, we can move the market? If we're all on live accounts, of course. When I'm trading my live account and there's a low in the market, I can see my prints moving the market. If I'm firing in with like a 3 lot, and there's nobody's moving the market at that current moment, I can move that market. And get this, I'm not an algorithm named Enigma, and I actually move the market all on my own. Imagine that. Wow. Incredible. Same thing with small caps. You trade a very thin name in small caps, you blast 10,000 into the offer. You're going to see that. That's how it works. It's how the markets move, believe it or not. Which is best for stop loss, trailing stop loss, or the stop limit? Market of touch is also good. MIT. That's also good. We are, kind of just skirting sideways here. I do assume that we will get a nice exchange of orders here off the open. Small caps are easy to get in, pain in the butt to get out, yeah, especially if you're doing size. That's when you start to get a little puckered up. I lived that a couple of times. Friday afternoon, you're all puckered up, and you got 40,000 to get rid of, and it's trading like 20 shares, 100 shares, 45 shares. And you're sitting there going, I got 40,000 I got to get off my books. What the heck am I going to do? It's not a good place to be in. Oh, man. And then you just you throw out like a little order, you try it, 10,000, and there's like a hidden bidder there, and it's like, oh, yes, yes, thank God there's somebody there. Oh, man. On a trade, do you start with one lot and then add more as trade develops, or you start with 3 or more? It depends. It depends on the price action. And, often I'll start with 1. Sometimes I'll start with 3. Sometimes I'll start with 5. What's the announcement coming out at open 5 minutes away? That's going to be the Dallas Fed manufacturing activity for January. Let's see if we have a preview on that yet. Not yet. No preview on that yet. 25 pips in gold bank, left a runner. Nice work there, Inspire Me. Way to go. Hold told a story like that on Friday. What's that? Oh, I mean, that Friday story. I think I was there for it. It was amazing. One of the stories. Thursday, I think, was another good story there, too. He told a really great story. Whenever I was on, I think it was Thursday, where he had a great story talking about how he was trying to get some paper off his books. But yeah, when it's Friday afternoon, you're sitting there holding. The trade is going 100 shares, 25 shares, 40 shares, and you're sitting there with 40,000 shares. It's like, oh, where's the undo button? I don't want these, please. Please get me out of this. It was Thursday. Yeah. That was an epic story. Hoag's stories are legendary. They're amazing. All righty, folks. We got 3.5 minutes till the party starts. Make sure you're calm, cool, and collected. Make sure you're ready to have a good time today. I'm going to be trading some combines here off the. I'm not going to be trading my live account. Yep, let me scoot the chart here for you. There we go. Hopefully we don't have to scoot it anymore after that. That should be enough scooch. Enough scooching. You and Hoag are great together. I think we have a great dynamic. Yes, there are a ton of earnings this week. Basically 50% of the S&P is reporting this week. 50% of the weight of the S&P. News at 10:30, not 9:30. I have it at 9:30. Let me just double check here. Yep, I got it at 9:30, Dallas Fed. And then Treasury auction at 11:30. That's what I have. 13 points with 3 contracts. Nice work there, Renee. Inside 3 minutes now. Do you know when they will let people who won the 400? Yeah, that's going to be this week, RJ. That's going to be on Wednesday, I believe. That is going to be on Wednesday. Wednesday all day. Wednesday. Which is FOMC day. All right, getting a little liquidity injection there. Just shaking around. Looking across the Mag 7 here. Google's slipping a little bit, actually. Interesting. S&P is still holding. Zoom this out a little bit here. Get some more view on what the story is. There we go. There's those algorithms. They finally decided to turn on there. Hello, good morning. They're coming in right now, right at 2 minutes before the open. How do you feel about trading right at the open? Buckle up. It's a good one. It can be a good one sometimes. Where do I find my news? I have a bunch of different sources you can use. There's tons of free resources out there. I post that. Trading Economics is a good one. Alrighty, folks. 90 seconds. Let's see what you have here. Interesting. Oh, the LOS. Yeah. Yeah, if you're new to trading, sit on your hands. There you go. All right, folks. Inside almost a minute here. Got trapped in a low volume penny stock. Took my 7 hours to unload so I didn't crash the stock and lose money. Got out break even. Yeah. There you go. I am what I am. Yeah, it's not fun. It's not fun to have that position. You could also use like a TWAP algorithm to get out, but it's when it's after hours, those algorithms, they don't really work. It depends. If you're a newer trader and came across Rips, would you try to follow his trades? No, definitely not. You should never try to follow anybody's trades, but you should learn from what that person's showing you in their trades. Listen to their mindset through those trades. Rips, some people say trading is like gambling. What are your thoughts? There's your high probability gambling. If you're card counting in blackjack, is it gambling or is it high probability, right? If you have an edge in a blackjack, is that gambling still? Not if you have an edge, right? Same thing with poker. Is that gambling if you have an edge? Do you have your own bot? No. If anybody's messaging you about a bot, it's not me. Stay away from that. 20 seconds here, folks. 20 seconds till the party gets started here. Do we have any advantage trades here off the open? S&Ps are holding these lows right now as well. 5 seconds. Good luck, everybody. Advantage play. Exactly right. Exactly right. Holy smokes, that's a lot of liquidity. Boy, this is going to be really rough and tumble here. Let's see here. Rolling over in NVIDIA. Apple's kind of firming up a touch. Is 37 going to hold the line here? 50s are kind of where the auction's going. It's looking like it wants to roll a little bit here. Let's see what happens around 37.50 if they can even bring it down. A lot of orders coming in. A little shake and bake here. Watching here what happens at 37.5. The auction is having a little bit of struggle getting up and over these 50s. Apple's looking kind of weak. Microsoft as well looking kind of weak here. There's that 37.50 dunk of liquidity there. We dunked low for a hot minute. I'm going to try a short here. I got on there. I want to see if we can actually get this breakdown through 23 here. Nice sweep below. Seeing if we get a retest higher back at these 35s at all. Watching here. Any kind of weakness up towards 35. Little bounce in Google, little bounce in Microsoft. Big old bounce up from that sweep low below 37.5. I want to see if 40s are... I'm going to add in a second lot here. We didn't get back up to 50. So I want to see 30s break down here. That's what I'm looking for. Watching here, test a little bounce here. Microsoft, a little bit of a bounce. See if they can reject these 45s once more here. Very, very weak to the bid side. Nobody's really collecting many bids here. So let's see if we can actually have this take down these 45s. Nice rejection again at 45. I'll have my stop up a little bit here, just above 50, just in case we get a pull rate above 50 there. So right at 52. See if we reject 50 at all here. Watching. I'm adding a third lot there. We rejected 50s. Now looking for a sweep below these 40s again. Trying 4 lots here. Looking for a 40 sweep. Watching closely. Looking for a breakdown of 40 here. Little bounce from Microsoft that I don't like to see. Watching here for a rejection through 40. Adding into that rejection. I want to see 37.50 give out now. Some bidders at 37.50, which I don't like to see. Watching carefully here. Somebody's bidding 40s. Could be a little bit troublesome to get back below 40s, but let's watch. And they're still holding these 40s for now. Get a reject of these 50s once more. Looking for that dunk and that retest of 40s. Watching here. Looking for 45 to give. 6 lot on for 45 dunk. Get this sweep below 45 now, or we will get snapped off at 52. Watching here. They're still holding the line. We're right up next to our stop here. Another lot on into that weakness. And stopped out there. So taking a loss on that first one. We were trying to get that rejection up right above the 50s there. I want to see if we have exhaustion up here towards 60.25. If we do, this could offer a very exciting opportunity for a reject. And then those sweep lows back down towards 23. Seeing if we can even get pushed up that high. Microsoft is holding the line here a little bit. Google as well, but things are looking a little bit droopy. If we reject 49.22 as well in the S&Ps, then I do think that we have an opportunity to really roll and break the VWAP here. But let's see. 60 and a quarter is really going to be my tell for the next trade here. That's going to be my next tell. So just waiting here, looking here up at the interception of this 60 area. Watching closely. Came right up into that 60 and a quarter. If we see strength at that 60 and a quarter, that's where I want to dive back in. So here we are at 22. Do we have a rejection here on the S&Ps at 22? That's our question. Watching here, the S&P's up at 22. 49.22 is a big key level here. Big sweep of liquidity here. We are still driving to the north side, but if we reject 22 and 60 on the NQ and the S&P respectively, I do think that we can continue to sweep down. Microsoft had a big draw of liquidity alongside Google and Amazon to the downside. Just want to see if we have follow-up to that with weakness at all. Right now, 55s are holding strong. A little bounce from Microsoft. Jump into the higher time frame here. Yeah, Microsoft actually showing some nice strength here. 60s are still holding. I'm going to try a long here. We're holding above 60s. Bring my backstop to about 52 and a quarter. Bring that down right there. 50 and a quarter, 3/4. I want to look to add into this in strength if we have this pushing above 68 or so. Adding into that strength, looking for the 68 clear out. Watching through 70 now for a retest. Seeing this, testing these 70s. Watching closely. Nice test of 70s adding into that. Beautiful strength to the north side here. A little bit of resistance at the top of that gap. I want to add into this if we have continuation through 75 now. Nice reversal out of Microsoft, adding for that approach of 75. Nice clear through 75 here. Watching up for 80 now. Little resistance at 75. Let's see if we have a nice little pullback here we can add into. Watching here at 75 now. Nice 75 clear out, going full size for this pickup above 75 here. I'm going to try to peel into the 80s. We have this as an opportunity. Somebody's rejecting 75s. There we go. Through 75 now, watching for the peel at 80. Little resistance there at 77. Watching for this peel through 80. A little bit of rejection here again at 75. Meta is super strong as well. Rejecting at these 70s. See if we hold these 70s for that approach through 75 once more. There's that approach again towards 75. I'd like to see that. Strength through 75 now. I want to see a big burst up through 80 here. Okay, trying to cover 5 and 5 here on the offer. There we go. Covered 5, 5 more out. Gonna move my stop right there on the remainder. See if we can let this 5 run through 80, targeting 590 and a quarter there to the top side. A little bit of a kerfuffle up towards that 580 for now. So watching here at 75 again. A little bit of resistance. I want to see if we have that strength to break through the 80s to the top side here. A little bit of buy side coming through, right through 75. Might get a little dunk below the 70s. If we firm up at 70s again, our stop's at 68. So if we have a dunk below, we will get stopped out here. But if we firm up, I do want to add back a little bit into this for a flip up at 75. Apple's a little bit weak. And stopped out there. So we didn't have that confluence to get up and through that just yet. So I'm looking for this to base out specifically right before the 60.25 level. So let's see if we can base out around here at all. That was a nice run back up to the top side. We did catch a nice piece of that run there. And there's that perk back up. So adding into that perk back up here. Geez, only one lot. Meant to have 3 on. Looking for 75 clear out. Adding into that. Nice push up through the 80s. There we go. There's that push up through the 80s we're originally looking for here. Very, very nice. Watching here if we hold this. Looking for this 80 sweep to hold. Adding into that for our sweep up through 90.25 now. Watching for this push up right above 80 here. An interception on that liquidity up towards the 90s. So nice little clear out and sweep. Watching this back above the 80s here for a quick flip. Little hesitation right at the 80s, but I think that we can have that punch right back through. Move my stop up as well. Watching right here as we approach the 80s once more. Apple is fading off super hard. If Apple turned around here, that would get things going back up in a jiffy, but Apple is bleeding super hard. It's not doing any favors for our position here, unfortunately. Apple is definitely the weak one of the bunch. So seeing if we hold these 75s, back through the 70s here. A little bit of a sweep of liquidity back up to the north side. Trying to cover there. It's covered 3. Leaving these 5 as a runner for that perk above 80. Watching again for this blast through 80 to 90.25 here. I'm covering 3. Not getting that burst up that I want to see. That quick move to the north side. So just scalping around this range, trying to get the areas of liquidity that we're trying to knock the door off of. 80s right now is the next target. Above 80s, we have 90.25. So we're just not getting that push up that we want to see just yet. So watching here at 80, a little bit of weakness. Apple is really what's kind of holding things back for us here. There's that push up through 80, but a quick sweep back down. I want to see continuation all the way to 90.25 here. So see if we get a retest back below 80 and any kind of bids firming up here. Very, very choppy in this area up here. Watching to see now if 75s hold or if this is another dunk of liquidity to the south side. Watching here down at this 70 level. Yeah, volume is subsiding just a touch too. I'm not seeing that we have liquidity to break on through just yet. Our stop's right at 70 flat. I'm going to tease that down just to 69.25 just in case we get a little flash step into 70 here. So watching here. There's a little step into 70. Adding into that for that step into 70 because our stop is so tight here. Watching to see if we can get that burst back above 75 and encroach back into these 80s here. So willing to risk 3 more contracts on that tight stop in case we do have this push back up right above 75. Watching closely here. Yeah, it's probably going to go sell side here. Seeing some sellers stepping into those 70s. Watching carefully here. Can we hold this 70 line back above 75? It's having a lot of trouble here at 75. So we'll have to see if we get this buy side to come through, sweep us back up to those 80s. We can flip out those 3 from the lows. So watching here. Still a little bit trouble. Yep, there's that stop out there. So stopped out. We're trying to play around this range right here. Yeah, it's the same gap that we've been watching since this morning. We did touch down into the middle of that gap rate at 65. But with Apple so weak here, we're not seeing that confluence that we want to see. Apple, Tesla, and Amazon all extremely, extremely weak. But there are bidders that are stepping up sort of the middle of this range right here. What are we at right here? 1,300 down on the day. We were down 1,500. We made back a little bit of recovery, but we're down 1,300 bucks on the day. So here we have it, back up at these 70s. I'm looking at potentially taking this to the long side because I am seeing Apple bottoming out just a touch here. If we are going to hold the middle of this gap, I'm looking at a potential long. I'm going long here, back on that encroachment, back up towards 75. If we have strength up towards 75, I want to add into this. Keep my stop right around 60, actually do 50, 59 flat. So watching for this quick flip above 75 once more. A little bit of sell side coming in again. So the downside of this block goes all the way down to 61 and a quarter. We're at 59. So I think we have enough room to run this here. So watching here right up through 72 again. Watching for this burst of momentum through 75 here. A little trouble again at 75. There is a bidder stepping in. I do like to see that. I just want to see if they can maintain this. Apple's still dunking though. That's not what I want to see. Apple's still dunking, Microsoft to the moon. Google is very strong as well. Amazon is recovering, but Apple is the laggard of the bunch. We talk about this a lot, looking for that confluence across the board, and we're just not seeing that with Apple right now. So do we hold this 65, 63 level? If we do, I'm going to add into that, probably get another 2 contracts on. If we can't hold this level, this range is going to be a rejection area. We would look to auction this back below 60 and a quarter and potentially targeting 37 and a half here. So seeing if we can step up here around 65. Apple just off a cliff here. So some bidders there at 65. I don't know if they're going to be able to hold this all the way through the 60s here. I think we get stopped out. Let's see. Bidders are stepping in here and waiting for it. Do we have any kind of bidder that I want to ride with here? Watching. Microsoft is investigating an issue right now. That's not what we want to hear as well. Okay, can we hold 65s here? Watching for this little bit of hold here, just above 60s, or our stops at 59, so we can easily get tagged here and tagged out there. So taking another loss there. Waiting for the market to kind of have a little bit more confluence. Everything was on the up and up except for Apple. Apple really barreling to the downside here. So a little bit choppy on the price action here. Was looking for that blowout of the 80s into that 90 and a quarter. But right now we are rejecting that level. So letting this play out a little bit here as we are just a touch below that 60 and a quarter level. If this is weak, we do have room all the way down to 48. So watching this here. Apple's still off a cliff. If Microsoft does tear down this level here, we could potentially find something to the short side. So watching 60 and a quarter again is perking back up. Apple again, just hitting the floor here. If Apple does reverse, however, there is a potential that we do have reversals in both the S&Ps and the NQ. Meta is just off to the races. Google is still very, very strong. Microsoft showing some strength as well. So right now we're watching to see if 60 and a quarter is a harsh rejection point. Potentially find a short here. Yeah, it's having a lot of struggle holding up here. Microsoft still very strong. Google a little bit of give back here. Watching here whether or not we reject these lows. Watching here at this 57 to 60 area. So little bounce from there, from Apple. Little tiny bounce here. We are firming up a little bit at that 60 and a quarter level. S&P is also small bounce there. Nice bidder stepping up through 65. I'm going to try that one more time long side here. Backstop is going to be right around 57. I want to see us clear out again into that 75 range. Looking for any kind of pullback here. Watching carefully. Adding into that here for this blow up through 75 again. I think we can squeeze that 80 target once more. We do have a lot of liquidity that's stacked up here through 75. So watching here right through 75, we can tear through this. Adding right here for that tear through 75. Seeing if we can hold this right at the 70s again. Right now, there are some large players that are trying to hold this back, but we do have that bounce from Apple that we're looking for. Strength out of Microsoft, strength out of Google, Amazon. So I do think that we will rally and hit that target of 90 and a quarter if we can hold this 75 player back. Watching here on that 75 swipe. A little lack of liquidity here. So letting this work towards that 75 target. 75 gives out. We will have room all the way up to those 80s there. And I got stopped out there. So taking a loss, unfortunately, on that one. Was looking for that 75 player to give out there to the top side. Unfortunately, did not have that. Got chopped apart this morning, unfortunately. And on an open like this, definitely sometimes you're going to have that to be expected on not congruent liquidity, I guess you could call it. So we'll see. At 10 a.m., we do have some data coming out. No data coming out at 10 a.m., rather. That's for tomorrow. So at 11:30, we will have the 3 and 6 month bill auction that is coming out today. But we did not have the follow through we're looking for in multiple spots. On the 80s above, we really wanted to see that follow through. And I was sizing in for that move. So unfortunately, we just didn't have that unfurled the way that we wanted. Blame the market makers. No, that's my trading right there. That's absolutely my trading. That has nothing to do with the market makers, nothing to do with the market conditions. It's just the way that I navigated the markets this morning. And sometimes I'm out of the pocket. Today was one of those days. And I really wanted to see if we had that snap of liquidity up towards 90 and a quarter, we would have been a really, really good spot. But unfortunately, we just didn't have that. So taking a little pain this morning on one of the combines, and unfortunately did not have the right read on the market for that follow through that we're looking for. A lot of the trades that I'm looking for have looking up for follow through on certain things, and I was sized into a lot of those moves. And we didn't have confluence, but the moment we had that bounce in Apple, I thought for sure that we would have got through those 75s all the way up through 80 and a quarter. We still may, but I was sized into it. And when you have that much risk on, you are risking potentially getting flushed out of a trade like that. If I'm trading 1 or 2 lots, we don't run that risk, but I was sizing into that move because the way that I saw it was a break above 75 leads into 80, break above 80 leads into that 90 and a quarter very easily. But unfortunately, we had that read completely wrong there. do the push-ups. What's the deal with the push-ups? What are you supposed to do with the push-ups? But yeah, here, let me show you. This is a trading view. So we're down a combine this morning. We have blown a 150K combine. So yeah, this is kind of what we're looking at here. Very, very choppy. This is on the 3 minute. Let's go to the 1 minute, get a little bit more granular here. We did have that base out pretty nicely. We did try to catch the run, but we got very hot and heavy into that area, and we got that flush down. Very, very choppy, but ended up getting picked apart right here at that spot. We were clearing above that level. I wanted 75s to clear out, and I was looking for this move to challenge these highs and then get us back up to our level of 90 and a quarter. So that's the story this morning so far. Hey, good morning there, Sheth. Good to see you. Rips reset coming on Wednesday. Great risk management, made money. Yeah, I was green multiple times in the trade. I was just looking for the bigger trade, right? Yeah, I was sizing in, looking. There was multiple times where I was completely green on the trade, but I had the hungry eyes that you get sometimes. And I expected a little bit more follow through when we had Apple tooling back up. I really did expect to see a little bit more follow through. So yeah, did not work out, unfortunately. But that's the way it goes sometimes. Geez, I was up 1,100, then I realized it was my practice account. You shouldn't even have practice accounts anymore. I don't even have any practice accounts on my screen. I feel like those should be long gone, right? I feel like nobody should have practice accounts anymore on their screens. Let's see here. Try this. See if this works. Let me see if this will work here. I want to try something that I've never really done on stream before. Hey, look at that. We have go back to, we have micros going now. This is the MNQ. Everybody always is asking, is that the NQ or the MNQ? It's the NQ, but this would be the first time ever trading the MNQ live on stream, just because I still think this market can go long based on that Apple is tooling to the top side here. Top Step got rid of all the practice accounts because people were complaining about having too many practice accounts. Yeah, I think that the market is looking like it can go long, especially as it's holding these lows. I actually want to move my stop down here, right around there. But yeah, I do think that the market can go much higher. Like, at this chop, this is what we got destroyed in here, is this chop. I look for follow through on trades, and every single time we were looking for follow through was here and here and then here, and we got just destroyed on that. And again, that's on me. That's not on the market makers. Is it a good idea to trade the minis with personal money on a 1K account? No, absolutely not. Definitely not. You can't even trade one mini in the NQ. You'll lose. Trade will go on. They'll close you out immediately because you don't have the intraday margin requirement for it. Brilliant. A few people complain about practice accounts and now no one has one. Yeah, they're like, okay, everybody's complaining about the practice accounts. All right, we're just going to get rid of them all. And now everybody's like, wait, where's the practice account? That's actually really funny. That's hilarious when you think about it. Wait, we want the practice account. Give us the practice account. Come on. We're just kidding. You have to admit, that's hilarious. All right, so I actually want to add down here. I'm going to do a buy on the bid here. Get filled at 56. This is exciting stuff with the with the micros. You really have no feel for this stuff. It's just, hold on, I'm going to move my stop down a little bit more here. Move it to the top of, what is this chart? Why is this a 1 minute? It switched my time frame on my chart over here. The Top Step Discord is painful with people crying. I don't know. Tech people keep. Yeah, the best is when I go on Top Step TV, literally every 5 seconds is somebody saying, reset code, reset code. Hey, do you have a reset code? Is there a reset code? It's like, what is going on in here? I don't need a practice account. I have a paper account with TradingView. Yeah, there you go. 5 people complain, 5 and I have to suffer for. Yeah, I think, Andreas, I think that the practice accounts aren't enabled yet. I think that's the deal. That's what I'm thinking. Fire drill. Yeah, where's the fire drill? Where's the reset? All right, so this is holding down here. I want to actually put in another limit order right down here in case we wick down below that 53 area. This is so much more calm and docile trading in the micros. This is so much more chill. But yeah, I'm looking for this to kind of bottom out at this area. This is at the upper ends of the range from earlier, these 50s to 55 range. This is where I think that we will have this kind of bottoming out, especially with Apple turning around. Microsoft had a huge fail, which kind of caused us to roll. But I'm just keeping an eye on volume here. Volume is still holding a little bit. So if we get filled here, that'd be nice. Get filled at 53s. No, this is not an XFA account. No, this is a combine. I think this combine has like $1,500 worth of drawdown in it. So I'm trading in the micros on this one. I did hit max loss on my other combine, which you can see right there. Actually over max loss somehow. But yeah, I do think that this will come back up to the north side. The Top Step chat is horrible. Sad to see all the retail traders that can't trade looking for the free resets all the time. Well, hey, I couldn't trade this morning. I didn't have my trades in line this morning. But yeah, I think the begging for the reset codes definitely has to stop. 100%. The 100K has 2K drawdown. Yeah, this is a 150K that I busted sometime last week. Oh, look at, we got a fill. We're on third lot on here. Market's still showing some heaviness. If we get up and over 191 in Apple, I do think, oh my goodness, my stop is going to get tagged on this thing. And we got stopped out. My goodness gracious. All right, so this thing is coming down. This thing is really rolling over. What's funny is that we don't have confluence across the board in any of these names right now. That's your 10 a.m. liquidity, by the way, is going straight to the downside. But yeah, I just feel like I must be completely out of pocket today here. I might want to back off on trading from here on out. I might continue to trade in the Discord, but yeah, I just don't feel like I'm in the pocket here. What does that put us at? We lost another couple ducats in that one. So that's putting us down on the day, 36.96 and 14 cents. So I definitely feel like I'm trading out of the pocket today. I don't know about you folks, but choppy price action. Thankfully, just in a combine today. Happy I didn't trade that in the live, but yeah, I'm just feeling out of the pocket here, folks. So on that, I probably will end the YouTube stream here. I will meander over into the Discord here. But yeah, I feel like I'm just completely out of the pocket today. I did think that we would have done some things, and the market said, nope, we are not doing those things. And so with those moments, today is probably going to be a day where I definitely do not touch my live account. Definitely don't trade any XFA accounts, and probably just sit on my hands for most of the day. But yeah, that's how I'm feeling. Any questions, folks, about any of my trades here that I took here live on stream? Revenge trade. Let's go. Yeah, I was out of the pocket. I was sized in for a couple of those trades where probably could have taken less size, but I was green too on a couple of those trades, but we just weren't getting my price that I wanted. I was looking for 80s, looking for 85. Yep. Sometimes you're the bug, sometimes you're the windshield. Today we were the bug. So if you made money today, hats off to you. I wasn't one of those folks. We're going to end the stream here down $3,600. Happy to stream with you folks here. Happy to share my morning with you folks. And, some days we win, some days we lose. We all take it in stride here. Trading is not going to be all about rainbows and butterflies. We're going to have losing days from time to time. Today is one of those days, but I hope you will join me tomorrow. I will be live here tomorrow at 8 a.m. sharp here on the YouTube. And I'll join you folks here in Discord in just a moment. We'll have to see if there's any other trades that we want to take, any other advantage trades. But take care, everybody. I'll see you folks here on YouTube bright and early tomorrow. And if you are going to trade today, good luck to you. Trade safe and trade with discipline. Take care, and we'll see you tomorrow.